Hey guys, today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite recipes for this time of year, my nutty chocolatey banana bread. Now you guys have been asking me for a banana bread recipe for some time, and let me tell you, this one is it. I love this recipe because it's really foolproof. It comes together so quickly and easily, and it is the perfect treat for any chilly fall morning. Now before we get started, I also should point out a new feature here on YouTube. Do you guys see this little eye that's up there in the corner? It's a new feature that when you roll over it and click on it, you'll see suggested videos. So I point this out because this recipe is very close to my pumpkin bread recipe, which is another recipe that's great for the fall. So after this is done, if you wanted to learn how to make the pumpkin bread, just click that little eye and you'll see the pumpkin bread video. So the first thing we're going to do is prepare a 9x13 loaf pan. You can just give it a nice dusting with some baking spray and set it aside. In a large bowl, we're going to mix together our dry ingredients. You're going to take 2.5 cups of flour, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and 2 teaspoons of baking soda. You can go ahead and just whisk that up and set it aside. Now here is the secret to getting a really fantastic banana bread, is you want to make sure that those bananas are really ripe, because as bananas ripen, their sugar becomes more and more pronounced and the banana flavor becomes more and more pronounced. So if you use a banana that isn't really ripe, you're not going to get much sweetness and you're not going to get much banana flavor. So it really pays to make sure that they're nice and brown and almost mushy looking. Then we need to mash up these bananas, and I find the best way to do that is with a potato masher. But if you don't have a potato masher, you could also use a fork. That does the trick as well. Just make sure that they're nice and mashed, and then you are going to add 3 eggs, 1/2 cup of sugar. I'm not going to add a lot of sugar to this recipe for the simple reason that very ripe bananas actually provide a lot of sweetness, and I also always find that if you add more vanilla than sugar, you'll get flavor and sweetness than just sweetness. So we're also going to be adding a tablespoon of vanilla. Then we're going to add 3/4 cup of canola oil or vegetable oil. If you don't want to use the oil, you could also use butter, but I find that the oil, because it's a pure fat, is going to create a more moist banana bread. And 1/4 cup of water. You're going to just whisk that all up until it's nice and combined, and then you can add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients. You want to stir it gently, you don't want to overstir or you'll end up with a tough bread, and that's not going to be any good. And then the final step is to add 1/2 cup of chopped pecans. Now you could also use walnuts. I know that's very traditional for banana bread, but I find that the pecans give it a richer, almost nuttier flavor, so I like to use them instead. And then we're also going to add, this is where we get naughty, 1/2 cup of chopped chocolate. I really think that the combination of chocolate and banana is such a winner. So I like to add about 1/2 cup of chopped bittersweet chocolate. Then you're just going to stir that up and your batter is ready. So we're going to transfer it into our loaf pan, smooth it out with a spatula, and then we are going to bake at 350 degrees for at least 55 minutes. That's the thing when you're baking in loaf pans, because they are so deep, they take a long time to make sure that they're baked all the way through. And you'll know that they're done by taking a nice skewer and inserting it into the center. If you get some batter on that skewer, the banana bread is not done. But what can happen is sometimes your bread is getting too brown, but it's not baked in all the way through. A way to solve for that is just to place a little bit of tin foil on top of your bread for the last sort of 10 minutes of the baking time. That way you'll make sure that your bread is totally baked through, but it won't get overly browned. Once your bread is cool enough to handle, you can go in with a knife and just free the bread from the sides of the pan, invert it, place it on a cooling rack, and then once it's ready to be served, what I like to do is actually take the bread, place it on a cutting board, cut 4 or 5 generous slices, and then let my guests help themselves over and over again. This banana bread is really one winner. I'm telling you, you guys will go nuts when you taste this bread. It's moist, it's delicious, it has the crunch coming from the pecans and that decadent sweetness coming from the chocolate. It is so addictive. You'll either love me or hate me for this one. I hope you guys give it a try and let me know what you think. And for more quick and easy recipes, be sure to subscribe. Always makes me happy when you guys subscribe. And I will see you back here next week for a really decadent treat for Halloween. I'll see you then. Bye.
Give me that swing, give me that swing, give me that swing, give me that swing.